Hey everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. So today we are doing another HelloFresh mystery box. So I have all the ingredients for a HelloFresh recipe, however I haven't seen the recipe itself. So I'm gonna come up with something and we'll see how it turns out. So let's take a look at our ingredients today. So our ingredients are gonna start with the protein is gonna be a pork tenderloin. I have a little bit of cilantro here. About a half of a teaspoon maybe of red pepper flakes. I've got about the same amount of honey. I have maybe about a teaspoon, maybe like 2 teaspoons of what I believe is to be cumin. And then I've got 2 garlic cloves. I have a lime. I have 5 carrots. That's a lot of carrots. 5 carrots. And then a half a cup of rice. So given the flavor profiles and the ingredients, it seems very Latin inspired. I'm not exactly sure what this is supposed to be. This is a lot of carrots, so I'm not sure if the carrots are supposed to be cooked on their own as a side dish or if it's supposed to be a component of the pork itself. I'm leaning towards the carrots being a component of the pork, or kind of maybe sautéed, maybe like a honey glazed carrot. That's what I'm kind of imagining there. I'm thinking that maybe the pork tenderloin is supposed to be maybe dusted with the cumin and the red pepper, and then seared, and then maybe finished in the oven. I think that the rice is probably going with the cilantro and the lime to be like a cilantro lime rice as a side dish. So I'm gonna kind of go along those lines. I'm gonna go a little bit different. I'm gonna do a braised pork with the carrot. I'm gonna use the cumin and the red pepper to season it up, as well as the garlic. So we're gonna do maybe like a honey cumin braised pork with carrot. I have my little plate of pantry ingredients, just extra stuff that I'm going to use to kind of supplement the dish a bit. I have a little bit of white onion here. I'm going to use the white onion in the pork braise, as well as some of this chicken broth as part of my braising liquid too. I'll probably add in maybe a little bit of apple cider vinegar to flavor it up. I'm kind of imagining that I'm not going to have enough time to do like a real full braise where it breaks down and it can be like a pulled pork. But I have these little flatbread rounds, and I'm thinking that maybe if the pork gets soft enough, it can almost be like a flatbread type of thing. Almost like kind of like a taco, not really a taco because it's a flatbread. I think that I'm going to stick with the cilantro lime rice because I like that idea. I might actually add in just a little bit of extra rice to kind of bulk it up as like a full side. This is a pretty small amount, which kind of leads me to believe that it's not supposed to be like a side on its own, because it's like I said, this is maybe enough for one person, not necessarily 2. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to prep all of my vegetables. I'm going to dice my carrots and my onion. I'm going to sear my pork. So I'll sear the pork seasoned with the cumin and maybe the red pepper flake. I'm going to sear this up, and then I'm going to start putting it in at a braise with my broth here and my apple cider vinegar, and season that up. And then we will go from there. All right, I'll see you guys in just a minute. Dutch oven heating up with some oil in it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to sear my pork loins first to get some color on them. I seasoned up the pork with some salt and pepper as well as the cumin. I will also be adding in a little bit of this taste of Yucatan sauce from Stephanie Izard's sauce line. I'm going to use that in the braising liquid just to kind of give a little further depth to the flavor as well. Just searing each side to give it a little bit of color before pulling it out, and then I'll add my vegetables in. Alright, looking good so far. Got some nice color on that one side. Alright, got some good color there. I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. Now I'm going to add in my carrots and my onions. A little extra oil. Add the remaining cumin and red pepper flakes, as well as some salt and pepper. Alright, so that color is transferring over to the carrots and the onions. I'm going to give that another minute or two, and then I'll add in my garlic. Alright, that's pretty good. Alright, garlic is in. Just going to give that a minute or so to soften. I don't want it to burn. Alright, I'm going to deglaze with just a little bit of apple cider vinegar. And now the chicken stock. going to add enough to kind of come up and cover the vegetables and barely cover the pork. And I'm going to add in about a tablespoon of the Yucatan sauce. I'm also going to add in the honey. Like I said, I think the honey was most likely for like a honey glazed carrot or like a honey carrot of some sort. That seems to make sense to me. All right, I'm gonna put that together. I'm gonna nestle the pork back in. I'm going to bring it up to a gentle simmer and I'm going to let it go for a while. It might be like 45 minutes or so until the pork is cooked all the way through and it's pretty soft. All right, I'm going to put a lid on top and we will be back in just a minute. Guys, so the pork has been in for about 45 minutes, maybe a little bit more. I'm going to let it keep cooking down and then I'm going to pull it apart with a fork so it's a little bit shredded. So it's not a true braise because we need to cook at a much lower heat for a much longer time, but given that this is a HelloFresh recipe, it's not really supposed to be something that takes 3 hours. I kind of just did like a quick, it's not really a quick braise, but like a quick cook. Meanwhile, while that's cooking, for the last 20 minutes or so, I have my rice ready here. So I did double it. I added some extra rice that I had on hand just so that it's kind of like a true side dish. I added the lemon juice into the water, so that'll cook up with the lime juice, rather. It'll be a lime rice. And then I'm going to let that finish cooking, and then once it's done, I'm going to stir in the cilantro, and I zested the lime as well, so I'll mix that in too. Alright, so that's going to cook for another 20 minutes or so. And then when everything's done, we'll come back and we'll check out the final product. Okay guys, so here we are. So everything is done. So what I did was, after the pork was cooking in the braising liquid, I pulled it out and I shredded it up with a knife and a fork. And then I put it back in and kind of let it cook down a little bit and let the sauce reduce, and I let the pork absorb the sauce a bit. For the rice, I just added in the cilantro and the lime zest in there as well, so I've got my rice there. So I'm going to go ahead and build one of these little flatbreads. So here I have the cooked pork. So I'm going to kind of put that right on top. Two of these here. Alright, I'm going to take some of these carrots and kind of put them on the side. These are the braised carrots. Top of the pork, I'm going to put on just some shredded cheese, I'm going to put on some onion, some cilantro, I have a little bit of this cilantro crema that I just happen to have in my fridge that I made the other day. It's just some cilantro and sour cream. Put that over the top. Alright. And then this is going to be our braised pork flatbread with cilantro lime rice and braised carrots. Alright, so that is the dish I created. Let's take a look at what the recipe was supposed to be. So our recipe was supposed to be a chimichurri pork tenderloin with honey roasted carrots and lime rice. So pretty good guess about the carrots being honey roasted. It looks like our pork was supposed to be, both the pork and the carrots were cooked on a sheet pan in the oven, and then the cilantro and the garlic, as well as some of the cumin, was to be made into a chimichurri. That actually sounds pretty delicious. I like the idea of this chimichurri sauce right here. That's really nice. And then we have this in like little pork medallions. I kind of figured it was probably going to be a roasted pork. Definitely the method that I used took a lot of time, and it was a lot longer than I think what the HelloFresh recipe was going to be. I'm going to just take a bite of this pork. Let's see how it tastes. It's pretty good. The sweetness from the honey really helps it out, I think. I think it'll taste really good on the flatbread with all of the toppings and the cilantro crema there. So, pretty successful. Thanks for joining me, you guys, and I will see you guys next time in my kitchen. Bye.